All right, let's do this. The reason I'm doing this live is because I wanted to, like, when I start doing a live stream, when I do my one live stream a month quota that I promised for the season, like, I'm leaning towards the Buffalo game that I'm gonna do to do my one in September. Um, I want to try my tablet out for this to see how this looks. If it looks and sounds okay, I'm gonna use it. If not, I'll just use my phone like always. But now we've all had a chance to calm down, decompress, all that good shit. So let's talk the last little tidbits of this game and move on. Now, First thing I want to start off with. The play calling is still horrendous. Like it's bad. Like it's really fucking bad. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't know if Trent or not Trent if whether it's Doug Peterson calling it, whether it's Press Taylor calling it. I'm thinking it's Press, but either way, it's not good. And the thing is, it didn't start out that way. Now, granted, bad play calling and not executing the plays are two different things. It's easy to sit here and say it was pretty good or decent in the first half when everything was working. So, but from what I saw, nothing was too egregious or too offensive. So, the first half, for the most part, it looked fine. Really, for the beginning of the second half, it looked fine. But let me give you an example of the play calling just being ass, regardless of the execution. The fourth down play from the 30, which, why the fuck, at that point in the game, like I think it was like almost through the third quarter or the beginning of the fourth. I can't remember exactly when. But the point is it was still plenty of time left. So why you're going for it on 4th and 1 at the 30 in your own 30 is beyond stupid. Granted, you got lucky as hell when they missed that field goal, but 9 times out of 10 that's usually resulting in points for the other team. But if you're going to do it, a fucking sweep play? Are you serious? Tank Bigsby was running the ball great, and he was drafted specifically for red zone and short differences. Or the distances, not differences, sorry. But he was drafted for this type of shit. And hell, you could even put him at fullback and put ETN in the back and push his ass forward for a yard. If you're going to do it, at least do it in a way that makes sense. A sweep, guess what the defense is going to do? Go directly to the fucking side he's going, and more often than not, make a play. Like, I never understood why people do that on 4th and 1. It reminded me of the 2017 divisional playoff game when we played the Steelers, and they did that sweep to Le'Veon Bell, and I think it was either Ramsey or Telvin Smith that made the tackle. I was like, thank you for being so stupid. And here, fucking 7 years later, we do the same stupid shit. And now, I didn't catch all of that press conference today from Doug Peterson, but I heard little clips of it, and the shit I did hear about, it's not good. It's really not fucking good. Like, apparently somewhere he threw Ryan Nielsen under the bus for a defense giving up a play, which the only gripe I have with the defense, the ETN fumble was bad. Yes, it was horrendous, and I'll get to him in a second. But one thing you cannot do in the NFL is get caught up in the moment. Like, okay, he fumbled. You can't go out the next play and give up an 80-yard bomb. I understand it's Tyreek Hill, but you cannot give that play up there. You have to be composed. And I trust me, anybody that's played organized sports before, I know that's not easy to do. But in that situation, you cannot give up that play. Again, my only gripe with the defense. But Doug apparently didn't say shit about what was going on with the offense, and I think even he asked somebody, were they watching the same game? Doug, what fucking game were you watching? Offensively, the first half was fine. Here in the second half was a pathetic offensive performance. You had the chance to put one of the best offensive teams in football, the Miami Dolphins, you had the chance to fucking basically end the game or give them an almost insurmountable lead if Etienne doesn't fumble that ball and he at very least gets a first down. We're well on our way to closing that shit out. And we're talking about the Jags 1-0 and pretty much nobody's riding your ass. But that, of course, didn't happen. And then the play calling in the second half, it got worse. It was dog shit. Now, I'm gonna say this for Travis Etienne. I understand everybody's pissed off at him. I am too. But I guarantee you, out of all of us, no one is more, the way he cares about the game, no one is more pissed off at Travis Etienne right now than Travis Etienne himself. I understand that fumble was bad. Especially coming from a guy who didn't fumble at all last year when we had a very bad fumbling problem as a whole. But look, shit happens. As good of a player as Etienne is, let's not sit here and act like he hasn't carried our asses through a couple of games. Let's not act like he's still not one of the best running backs in football. I understand we're pissed off at him right now. But, I saw people say, trade him, cut him, all this other shit. Like, come on, dude. Stop it. Stop it. Tank for RB1. Look, Tank Bigsby had a hell of a game. I'll give him that. But to sit here and already say he's better than Travis Etienne, like, come on, bro. Stop it. We're not there yet. And I doubt we ever will be. Not saying Tank can't be a great contributor to this offense, because I actually really think he can. But to say he's better than Etienne right now, stop it. Now, let's see what else. The other part that sounded stupid was the people dogging Trevor Lawrence. The past year of how, like, he played through the injuries and didn't play well, okay, I get it. But let's be honest here. Trevor Lawrence was besides the defense, Trevor Lawrence was probably the least of the worries in this game. After coming out of this game, Trevor Lawrence is one of the things I am the least worried about right now. What do you want him to do? Like, with some of this shit, what do you want him to do? At 162 yards and 1 touchdown is a very good day. Were there throws he could have made better? Sure. But did he play good enough to win? I think so. I personally think so. And really, he would have had 2 touchdowns to BTJ, but Galen was getting cooked by him all game and had to put him in a chokehold to get a PI call. Because so really, he would have had 2 touchdowns. Put the blame, listen, if we're going to place blame, put it in the right places. Offensive line was dog shit, and the play calling was dog shit. And we fumbled the bag when we had a chance to put a very good team away. Come January, if the Jaguars are going to make the playoffs, these are the type of games you got to fucking close out and win. And yesterday, it felt like the team just didn't know how to finish. Now, Christian Kirk. Buddy, what was going on with you yesterday? Like, he had the one good 30-yard pass, and then, he had two crucial drops. The aforementioned 1 3rd and 5 play. Actually, I didn't mention that yet. The 3rd and 5 play. Could Trevor have thrown a better ball there? Sure. But he also had two defenders dragging him down, and the ball's in your hands, dude. You got to catch it. Like, that's some shit I would expect Calvin Ridley to drop. Not you, man. Not you. And back to this atrocious fucking play calling. You want to know what the last 7 plays were? And this was mind-blowing, but it's true. 4 of them were runs. 1 was the previously mentioned 3rd and 5 pass. And 2 plays where Trevor Lawrence getting sacked. Because he had no fucking time. That first sack, he had no chance. End of discussion. He literally dropped back and there was a guy on his ass. The second one, he had maybe a second longer. And I rewatched the play. You could argue that maybe he could have dumped it off to ETN there and he could have did something, but I mean, there was 3 defenders right in front of him. He wasn't getting a first down. I mean, still, I think you got to throw it just to try and make something happen, but I think him doing that too much is kind of what got him in trouble last year. So it is what it is. That's more on the offensive line. Like, it's crazy that this shit still isn't fixed either. Anton Harrison played, and it's coming from sources that are usually solid. Anton Harrison played the worst game I've ever seen him play. Cam Robinson on certain plays looked fucking lost. And the interior wasn't too much better either. So it's like, if we're having this kind of trouble with fucking Jalen Phillips and Calais Campbell or Emmanuel Ogbah and whoever else the Dolphins have, no disrespect to them, I can't really name them all off the top of my head, then what the fuck do you think is going to happen with Myles Garrett? Like, Brenton Strange, we spent the 2nd round pick on him to be a blocking tight end, and Luke Farrell, he's good at it too, so it's like, I mean, what the fuck? You may have to keep one of them in each time to just at least make sure Myles Garrett's doubled up. Because we're going to have a hell of a time with him. If shit doesn't change. So, Doug, you see all this and don't blame the offense and the play calling. Buddy, I hate to tell you this, but your job's kind of on the line here. Like, I'm pretty, like, because we all knew that Trent Baalke wanted I think he wanted Press Taylor fired, but Doug kind of like saved his ass somehow, and basically made Mike Caldwell out to be the scapegoat, which he did need to go, and Ryan Nielsen is definitely an upgrade, but at the same time, it's like, you know this, and you're fucking dying on this hill with this guy like you did in Philly. And for what? Has he got pictures of you or something? Like what's going on here? Because, like, I know everybody's going to say the shit about Press Taylor, but it's kind of like the Baalke situation. At this point, he's been here long enough to, you know what he is. and he probably should have been fired. Granted, he did have a good offseason this year, but he probably should have been fired. But Shad Khan, for whatever reason, still keeps him around. It's kind of the same thing with Press Taylor and Doug Peterson. We know Press Taylor's a shitty play caller. We've seen it firsthand. Yet Doug continues to allow him to be on his staff. So who's really more at fault? Press or Doug for enabling him to do the shit that he does? And this should motivate you even more because, right, you already got your potential replacement on the fucking coaching staff right now. I hate to tell you that. Because if Trent and Shad get sick enough of this shit, they're going to fire your ass and hire Ryan Nielsen. Because I'm sure they don't want him to get the fuck away. Ryan Nielsen has done wonders with every defense he's ever held on. So, like I said, I think he called a great game yesterday. Even in the second half, that was the one thing that was good about the second half. It's just they got left on the field so fucking much that they were drained. So, Doug, you better. It's like you either better figure this shit out or get rid of this little fucker, or you're going to be on your ass. Because look what's happened since you've been here. You've rescued us from the depths of the Urban Meyer shit show and got us to 9-8 in the division title and a playoff win, which is a great start. One of the best starts we've ever had from a coaching perspective. Then you go 9-8 again and miss the playoffs. And what do you think's going to happen if it gets any worse? Because that right there, if you don't finish above 9-8 and make the playoffs, that's not progress. That's regress. That is the opposite. So them seeing that shit, they're probably not going to be too. So Shad and Trent seeing that shit, along with the fans, they're probably not going to be too happy to see that shit. And they're going to go with the one part, and they're probably going to go with the one part that they're happy with, and that's the defensive part. Assuming like the rest of the season goes kind of like this. And this is an organization that historically hires from within. What happened when Todd Coughlin left? Trent Baalke was already in the building. Same thing with Dave Caldwell. What happened when Gus Bradley got fired? Doug Marrone was already on his staff and he got the job. They historically do that shit. So, Doug, choice is yours, buddy. And now, I think that's all from the rant of coaching that I want to rant on. But got one more piece of bad news today. And that is the injury front. And you'll never guess who it is. Tyson, why did it have to be you, dog? And why did it have to be the same fucking injury, dude? This shit is so frustrating. And look, don't get me wrong. I love Tyson Campbell. Tyson Campbell's one of my favorite players. I've met the guy. He seems like a great guy. And when he is healthy, I will stand on the hill that he is that he is a top 10 corner in this league. And he deserved to get his bag. But my brother in Christ, what in the name of fuck is wrong with this man's hamstring? Is it made out of paper mache? I really need to know. Because this is now 2 years in a row with the same fucking injury. It's like I said last year. Like, we might need to look into the medical staff here, because here this same problem is happening. Like, what are we doing here? Like, what the fuck are we doing? So he's out assumedly he's missing next week and maybe a couple weeks. Hopefully it's not for long. And hopefully this time they don't rush him back before he's not healthy. Like, at this point, get him to take as much time as he needs. Let him get healthy. Because rushing him back like we did last year did no good. And this is part of the reason why I was pounding the fucking table to either trade for Marshawn Lattimore or move up in the draft to get Kool-Aid McKinstry. Because even with the guys that we have, they're fine depth pieces, but as far as everyday starters, it's tough to say whether they're going to be good or not. And if Tyson Campbell is gone for any extended amount of time, the secondary's in trouble. We better generate one hell of a pass rush to compete with the secondary. Because the one person you were really banking on staying healthy is now hurt. So, all right. So, I'm done ranting. Let's talk about some positives, okay? Because regardless of how we are feeling, this wasn't completely hopeless. Granted, we played 2.5 great quarters of football against a team that's a playoff team, probably one of the best teams in the league, and probably has one of the best offenses in the league. And for the most part, we contained that very well. And Foye and Devin Lloyd, hell of a game from both of them. Cisco still as good as always. Jerry and Jones made a couple good made a couple good coverages. So it'll be interesting to see if he gets some more playing time now with Campbell gone. And Ark Armstead, he got in there, got a sack. Trayvon Walker is becoming more and more of a monster as we speak. Dude got fucking 2 sacks yesterday. Good shit from him. And like I said, running game for at least the majority of the game was very good. Tank had a hell of a game, and you know what? This is a guy that was really on my shit list last year, but dude really came in and balled yesterday. 73 yards on the ground on 12 carries. Ran like a man, ran hard, and one thing I did notice, securing the ball better when he's getting tackled. So, good shit. You love to see it. Again, Trevor Lawrence, I think, had a good game. Gabe Davis had a very good game, I think, when we threw to him. And I'd say the most encouraging thing of this, Brian Thomas, BTJ, kid looks like the real deal. I think which that's another thing. Why we stopped throwing to him in the second half, I will never fucking figure out. But we get this guy the proper amount of targets. We really treat him like a number one receiver. We coach him up. This kid is going to be a fucking superstar. I think we got a real fucking gem with him. That touchdown catch, you'll never see Calvin Ridley do that shit. He was cooking Galen all game, had him beat for that one deep touchdown that, Galen had to put a chokehold on him for to stop him from catching a touchdown. I think this kid's the real deal. I think give him some time, coach him up, actually give him opportunities to make plays. This kid's going to be a fucking superstar. And that's what's killing me the most about this is that our skill position players are a hell of a lot better. Just this offensive line sucks. It better get better or fuck. Because if you notice, when Trevor Lawrence did have time to throw the ball, he was putting some fucking dots out there. If you go back and watch that touchdown catch from different angles, it's absurd how accurate that fucking ball was and how good Brian Thomas Jr. was at, making sure and at his body control and making sure he stayed in bounds. That shit is fucking great. So, there's a lot of encouraging things. All right, so, like I said, Miami Dolphins, again, all the credit in the world. You guys deserve it. But time to move on to week 2. And we got Massage Watson and the Doo-Doo Browns. So, I hate to say this is kind of a must-win game, but we really need to get right and get a win here. Now, granted, they looked like absolute dog shit against Dallas yesterday. But I also recognize we have not beat Deshaun Watson since his 2017 rookie season. Like, I know there is some form of talent still in there, and it can come and fuck us. But this game's at home. I feel like as long as we contain Cleveland's defensive running game, and I think Njoku's possibly out, which that game last year when we played him, he fucking absolutely destroyed us over the middle. So, we should be in good shape. And, we really got to get this one because then we go to Buffalo on Monday Night Football, and that's not going to be an easy task. In a hostile environment, in prime time, that is for sure not going to be an easy task. So, we really need to get this one. I'll see y'all in a couple days for the preview video. Thank you for watching. I'm sorry I didn't really get to any comments or anything, but like I said, I was just trying to see how it looked on my tablet live, so when I eventually do live stream a game, see how this looks and see if I can be on my phone while I'm doing it. But, all right, yeah, let me know what you guys think, but that's all I got. I'll see you next time.